The morning of my wedding started perfectly. Too perfectly, looking back. I was in the bridal suite of St. Michael's Cathedral, surrounded by floating white tulle and the excited chatter of my bridesmaids. My $8,000 designer dress fit like a dream. My makeup was flawless, and in 30 minutes I was going to marry the most incredible man I ever met. Daniel Chase, FBI analyst, humanitarian worker, and the love of my life. We'd met 18 months ago when he helped my nonprofit organization with security protocols. Whirlwind romance didn't begin to describe it. Emma, you're something borrowed. My sister Katie handed me our grandmother's pearl bracelet. As I clasped it, my phone buzzed. A text from Daniel. I love you. I smiled, typing back, cold feet. No response, but that wasn't unusual. Daniel's phone often went silent for work-related reasons. One of the quirks of being engaged to an FBI agent. 10 minutes until showtime, Katie announced, helping me with my veil. That's when everything changed. The bridal suite door burst open. Daniel stood there, still in his street clothes instead of his tuxedo. His face was ghostly white, a sheen of sweat on his forehead. Everyone out, he ordered, his voice carrying an authority I'd never heard before. Now, my bridesmaids froze. But, Katie started. Out, the command made them jump. They scurried from the room, leaving me standing alone in my wedding dress, staring at the stranger wearing my fiance's face. Daniel, what's wrong? Why aren't you dressed? He was already at the windows, scanning the church grounds below. We need to leave. Right now. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. It's our wedding day. Of course I'm going to ask. The sharp crack of gunfire cut me off. Screams erupted from the church below. Daniel grabbed my arm. They found us. We have about 2 minutes. Who found us? Daniel, you're scaring me. He was already pulling off my veil, grabbing a backpack from behind the door I hadn't noticed before. Here, he thrust a pair of running shoes at me. Put these on. That dress is too recognizable. My hands shook as I kicked off my white heels. Daniel, please. Tell me what's happening. He paused in his frantic movements, cupped my face in his hands. For a moment, I saw my Daniel, the gentle man I fell in love with. Emma, I promise I'll explain everything. But right now, I need you to trust me. Your life depends on it. More gunshots. Closer this time. The cathedral's stained glass windows rattled. The stairs will be covered, he muttered, more to himself than to me. He moved to the large stained glass window, pulling out some kind of tool from his pocket. We'll have to go out this way. The window? We're 3 stories up. There's a ledge, then a drain pipe. I checked it this morning. He worked quickly, removing the central panel. I check every escape route, everywhere we go. It's protocol. Protocol? What protocol? You're an analyst. You work at a desk. His bitter laugh chilled me. Is that what you really believe? After everything you've seen? Actually, I realized with growing horror, I'd never seen his office, never met his colleagues. Every time I asked about his work, he'd redirected the conversation with a skill I now recognized as professional. As he helped me through the window, something fell from his jacket. A badge. I caught a glimpse of unfamiliar letters, words that looked Russian, before he snatched it up. Daniel, my voice shook. You're not FBI, are you? More gunshots. Shouts in a language I didn't recognize. Heavy boots on the stairs outside. Later, he promised, guiding me onto the narrow ledge. Right now, we move. The next few minutes were a blur of terror. Somehow, we made it down the drainpipe, my wedding dress torn and filthy. Daniel moved with a grace and efficiency that belonged in an action movie, not in my analytical, bookish fianza. A black SUV waited in the alley behind the church. A man I'd never seen before sat at the wheel. Took you long enough, the driver said in a thick Eastern European accent. Complications, Daniel replied in the same language. I shouldn't have understood it, but I'd grown up speaking Russian with my grandmother. They thought I couldn't understand as they discussed extraction points and pursuit protocols. But I caught every word, my blood running colder with each passing second. Daniel helped me into the back seat, then slid in beside me. As we peeled away from the church, I saw men in tactical gear swarming the building. Not police, something else. The guests? I asked. Safe, Daniel assured me. That's why I waited so long to get you. Had to make sure everyone was clear. Clear of what? Who are those men? Who are you? He took my hand. It should have been our first touch as husband and wife. Instead, it felt like touching a stranger. I work for a special division, he said carefully. International operations. Things got complicated. Complicated? I pulled my hand away. Our wedding is shot up. We're running from men with guns, and you're speaking Russian with some mystery driver. That's a bit more than complicated. We don't have time for the full explanation. They're going to be mobile soon, and make time, I cut him off. Because I'm not moving another inch until you tell me the truth. All of it. Daniel exchanged looks with the driver in the rearview mirror. Some silent communication passed between them. The package? The driver asked in Russian. Secure, Daniel replied in the same language. But we need to make a stop. She deserves to know. Your call, but if we get killed, I'm haunting you in the afterlife. Daniel turned to me, his face more serious than I'd ever seen it. What I'm about to tell you, it changes everything. And once you know, there's no going back. Are you sure you want that? I looked down at my ruined wedding dress, at the man I thought I knew, at the life I thought I was going to have. All lies. Or were they? Tell me, I said. He reached into his jacket and pulled out the badge I'd glimpsed earlier. In the moving car, I could finally read it clearly. My Russian wasn't perfect, but I understood enough. The symbol wasn't FBI. It wasn't any American agency at all. Oh my God, I whispered. The badge in Daniel's hand bore the insignia of the SVR, Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service. But it wasn't a normal badge. The markings and security features were unlike anything I'd seen in my grandmother's old documents from her diplomatic days. Your Russian intelligence, my voice sounded distant even to myself. Daniel's laugh was hollow. Not exactly. It's more complicated than that. Everything's complicated with you, isn't it? I stared out the window at the passing cityscape. Was anything real? Was Daniel Chase even your real name? Dmitri, he said quietly. Dmitri Chernishev. But everything else, how I feel about you, what we have, that's real. The driver snorted. Real enough to get us all killed. Shut up, Nikolai Daniel. No, Dmitri snapped. My head spun. If you're Russian intelligence, why were those men shooting at us? Shouldn't they be on your side? Dmitri exchanged another look with Nikolai. Those weren't Russian agents. They're from a private military corporation called Atlas. They're hunting me. Why? Because I defected. He ran a hand through his hair, a gesture so familiar it hurt. 6 months ago, I discovered something. Something big. The kind of intelligence that changes the global playing field. Nikolai turned sharply down an alley. We've got a tail. 2 cars back, black sedan. Take the tunnel route, Dmitri ordered, then turned back to me. Atlas isn't just a military corporation. They're running a shadow operation, manipulating governments, staging coups. They have people everywhere. Intelligence agencies, military, politics. And you found proof? More than proof, I found their playbook. Future operations, sleeper agents, everything. His face darkened, including plans for false flag attacks that would trigger international conflicts. They profit from chaos, from war. Gunshots cracked behind us. Nikolai swerved violently. Down. Dmitri pushed my head below the window line. Emma, I need you to listen carefully. In your grandmother's safety deposit box. How do you know about that? Because I'm the one who arranged for her to leave it to you. Your grandmother, she wasn't just a diplomat. The pieces started falling into place. The mysterious trips, the late-night phone calls, the languages she spoke but never taught me. She was an agent, I whispered. One of the best. She helped me defect, helped me hide the evidence. But they found her before. He stopped, pain crossing his face. The car accident last year, I said numbly. That wasn't an accident, was it? I'm so sorry, Emma. I wanted to tell you, but it would have put you in even more danger. More gunshots. The back window shattered. We need to split up, Nikolai called back. They're hurting us. Dmitri pulled a small key from his pocket. The safety deposit box contains everything. The evidence, account numbers, contact protocols. Your grandmother encoded it all. You're the only one who can access it now. Why me? Because the cipher key is something only you would know, something from your childhood with her. He pressed the key into my hand. If anything happens to me, don't. I grabbed his arm. Don't you dare do the noble sacrifice speech. A sad smile crossed his face, still giving orders, even in a crisis. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with you. The SUV screeched into an underground parking garage. Nikolai killed the lights, driving by memory. 30 seconds, he announced. Dmitri pulled out his phone and typed rapidly. I've transferred $2 million to an account in your name. Nikolai will take you to a safe house. I'll lead them away. No, I straightened up, kicking off the remains of my wedding dress to reveal the slip underneath. I'm coming with you. Emma, please. My grandmother died for this. Those bastards killed her, used me to get to you, and shot up my wedding. I'm not hiding in a safe house. Another smile, prouder this time. Your grandmother said you'd react this way, said you have the same fire she did. 10 seconds, Nikolai warned. Dmitri pulled me close, kissed me hard. New plan. We get the evidence together. Expose everything. And then, he actually grinned. Then we have that wedding. Somewhere tropical. No guns allowed. Nikolai stopped the car next to a maintenance store. They're blocking the exits. We've got about 2 minutes before they sweep the garage. The service tunnels? I asked, surprising both men. This garage connects to the old subway maintenance system. My nonprofit did a survey of them last year. Dmitri's eyes lit up. This is why I love you. We slipped out of the car just as headlights flooded the garage entrance. As Nikolai led us to the maintenance door, I heard voices echoing off the concrete walls, orders being given in multiple languages. Wait, I said, an idea forming. The evidence in the safety deposit box. The cipher key my grandmother left, I think I know what it is. Both men looked at me as Nikolai picked the lock. Every Sunday she'd tell me stories, Russian fairy tales. But she always changed the endings, made them unique. Said she was teaching me that there's always another way out of a bad situation. Understanding dawned on Dmitri's face. The altered stories are the key. Which means, I smiled grimly, we don't need to wait. I can decode it now. The maintenance door clicked open. Footsteps echoed closer. First, Dmitri checked his weapon. We survived this garage. I took his hand and squeezed it. Together this time, no more secrets. No more secrets, he agreed. As we slipped into the darkness of the service tunnels, I heard one of the Atlas operators call out. They're in the tunnels. All units, converge. But I wasn't afraid anymore. Angry, yes. Ready for answers, absolutely. But not afraid. Because now I knew who I was really marrying. Not Daniel Chase, the FBI analyst. Not even Dmitry Chernishev, the Russian agent. I was marrying the man who'd risked everything to expose a conspiracy, who'd protected me even when it meant lying to me, who'd rather run with me in a torn wedding dress through maintenance tunnels than let me face danger alone. The maintenance tunnels were a maze of darkness and echoing footsteps. Water dripped somewhere, and the air smelled of rust and decades of abandonment. Our only light came from Nikolai's tactical flashlight. The cipher, Dmitri whispered as we moved. Tell me the story your grandmother used most often. Vasilisa the Brave, I replied, ducking under a low pipe. But in her version, Vasilisa didn't just outsmart Baba Yaga. She convinced her to help overthrow a corrupt kingdom. Dmitri stopped so abruptly that I nearly ran into him. Say that again. She changed the story. Made Baba Yaga an ally instead of. That's it. His eyes gleamed in the dim light. The bank accounts, the data caches, they're all labeled as traditional folktales. But if we use your grandmother's versions, a burst of gunfire interrupted us, bullets sparking off metal pipes ahead. Less talking, more running, Nikolai suggested, pushing us down a side tunnel. We emerged into a larger chamber, an old subway maintenance hub. Rusted tools and abandoned equipment created a maze of shadows. Up there, I pointed to a ventilation shaft. It leads to the surface, comes out near 3rd and Mason. Near the bank, Dmitri nodded. Your grandmother planned this. All of it. More footsteps echoed behind us, multiple teams converging. I'll hold them here, Nikolai said, checking his ammunition. You two get to the bank. Nikolai, Dmitri started. Someone has to slow them down, he grinned. Besides, I promised your grandmother I'd keep you alive long enough to finish this. I don't break promises to dead spies. Before we could argue, he was moving into position, setting up a kill zone at the tunnel entrance. Mitri helped me into the ventilation shaft first. As we crawled through the cramped space, I heard gunfire erupt below, followed by shouts and explosions. "He'll be okay," Mitri said, though whether he was reassuring me or himself, I couldn't tell. The shaft ended at a storm drain. We emerged into late afternoon sunlight, in an alley 2 blocks from First National Bank. "Wait," I grabbed Mitri's arm. The stories. Each one had a specific lesson. Vasilisa wasn't just about making allies. It was about hidden knowledge, he finished. Your grandmother's version had Vasilisa hiding secret messages in plain sight. Box 417, I said. The numbers, in her version, Vasilisa tricked Baba Yaga by showing her 4 false treasures, 1 true one, and 7 keys. We reached the bank with 10 minutes until closing. My grandmother's key worked perfectly. Inside the safety deposit box was a single USB drive and a leather-bound book I recognized, her story journal, where she'd written all her altered fairy tales. The stories aren't just the stiffer, I realized, flipping through the pages. They're a guide. Each one tells us where to look, who to trust, how to expose Atlas without getting killed. Mitri plugged the USB drive into his phone, running a decryption program. It's working. The stories, they're unlocking everything. Names, dates, operations. Hands up. A voice commanded from behind us. We turned to find 3 Atlas operators in suits, weapons concealed but clearly present. The USB drive, one said. Slowly. Mitri started to reach for it, but I stepped forward instead. "You know what I learned from my grandmother's stories?" I said conversationally. "The villain always monologues, always reveals their plan, because deep down, they need someone to know how clever they are." The lead operator smiled thinly. "And you think we're the villains?" "No," I smiled back. "I think you're the disposable assets. The real villains are watching through your body cams right now, aren't they? The Atlas board members, the corrupt officials, the ones who ordered my grandmother's death." I saw uncertainty flicker in their eyes. "Emma," Mitri warned. "The thing is," I continued, "my grandmother knew they'd watch. Knew they'd want to see their victory. That's why she made sure this would be broadcasting live." I held up my phone, showing active stream. Everything from the USB drive uploading in real time to servers worldwide. "You're bluffing," the lead operator said, but his hand shook slightly. "Am I? Check your phones. Check the news. Check your secure channels. It's all out there now. Every operation, every bribe, every assassination, including the ones you weren't supposed to know about." They did check. I saw the color drain from their faces as notifications flooded in. "Your employers," I said softly, "are about to have much bigger problems than us. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk away. Because in about 30 seconds, federal agents are going to storm this building, real ones, not Atlas plants. And you don't want to be here when they do." For a moment, no one moved. Then sirens began wailing outside. The operators looked at each other, then turned and ran. "That was the most terrifying bluff I've ever seen," Mitri said, pulling me close. "Who said I was bluffing?" I shoved in my phone. "Nicole's been uploading everything since we got here. The stories weren't just a cipher. They were a transmission key. Atlas's own network turned against them." He laughed, a real laugh this time. "Remind me never to play poker with you." Outside, we could hear the chaos unfolding, sirens, shouts, the sound of a conspiracy unraveling. "So," I said, straightening his collar, "about that tropical wedding." "First," he smiled, "let's make sure Nicolay didn't blow up the entire tunnel system. And then, Mrs. Chernishev, we find a beach with no cell service, no gunfire, and definitely no folk tales." "Liar," I kissed him, "you love the stories." "True," he admitted, "but I love you more." Hand in hand, we walked out to face whatever came next. Together, no more secrets between us.